Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Has an amazing catalog. It's just, Adair and I both agree on this, we don't have the utmost confidence in Paramount to maximize the potential of that catalog, right? Like, I think Netflix would do a substantially better job and continuously top the charts. I don't know if Paramount can do that with what we've seen from them before.
Respect that.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell.
See ya. Oh, it's 2
o'clock. Your boy's got to head back over to that.
Oh, all right.
Charlie Shreve, I'll let you close things off.
Absolutely.
Let's scurry back over there.
All right, man. Let's get right back into it here. I just want to talk about some of these trades because, guys, SKYQ is still putting in higher lows. This is an unbroken trend here. Despite the ugly and annoying, often annoying, topping tail candles, look at these candles over here. They haven't breached prior bar low. So if you're using the simple follow technique of just moving up your stop to prior bar low, you have not been wicked out. And here we come again into 1250. Ultimately, it's a 1285 high. But my bias is if we get above that 1250, we're likely going to touch 13. So, you know, trade this as you may. But here we go again with 1240. To be fair, you know, to the shorts on SKYQ, they've been pretty resilient here. Look at all these topping tail candles. They don't happen by accident. This is aggressive shorting and or profit taking at these levels. So for now, the bulls are winning. Whether or not we're going to be able to win above 12.5 and then possibly above 13, your guess is as good as mine. But we're going to keep a close eye on this one. We're going to send it over to the boys in a second. I did want to talk, sadly, about a losing trade that I had. You know, I don't usually short these small cap gappers, but we took the shot today on square foot. Didn't work out for me. I had an opportunity to break even on this one as it did dip down or close to break even at around the low 80s. I insisted on holding, thinking that we could maybe make a move back to 350. But if I had to guess, square foot, if it breaks above 4, it's going to make another move and possibly take out the high of the day. Just like SKYQ is now. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen, into 1269. Again, don't forget, it's a 1285 high. So we're moments away now from touching that 1285 high. If you've got some, you know, shares left, maybe wet the beak at around, you know, this 12.5 area, but save the piece for the dream. Breaking above that 1285 and possibly under 13. Very happy with this trade. Wished I had a bit more shares, but SKYQ looking real good. And here it is at 1270. We're about to take out 75. It's a 77 high now. Let's see if we can get up possibly into 85. Very happy with this trade. We're going to see exactly. There it is, Neil. Boom. Into the area high. 1285 on SKYQ. Pumped about this trade. Let's send it over to your boy, Roberts.
Well, now you got me calling that SKYQ up there. It's doing like, it's like the sky hook, unstoppable. No one could block that shot, apparently. Although, you know what? Let Wemby try to block that shot. I bet you he could have done some damage with that. But the dude's an absolute freak. Love the SKYQ. We'll see what happens this afternoon. We'll let Joey. Look, man, Joe put in some work today. When I came in, I knew Sean was off. Gia's got hockey Friday. Like, that's pretty normal. We have a normal thing. And we're doing the morning show with Joe there. And then all of a sudden we get to, it's like 10:57. I turn over and I didn't see O, but I'm like, Joe, you doing all day? He's like, yeah, man, doing it all day. So man's got to eat too. Hopefully he'll grab his lunch and be able to get something down. We got a lot trying to happen here. It has been, I want to say, relatively calm. Unfortunately, we did give up some of the highs. Like when we left you this morning, things were pretty cruising, but look, it was early enough that it turned around that I think, you guys saw in the midday, the market's been trending down. It has been overall quiet. We are only sliding down here, and it's not because there's some screaming buy happening in oil prices. There was a small headline, Derek left the desk for a second, and there was a small headline basically saying, uncertainties prevail in the White House, and Trump now believes that reopening the Strait of Hormuz is unlikely soon. That's not exactly shocking us higher. The market's not falling all over itself. And really, the biggest thing that came out of the office was Palantir. That's now barely even above VWAP at this point. A little disappointment, I think, for PLTR. Yeah, like it's never really got past 129, so that could be a place that if it gets there, maybe you catch some kind of a breakout. But At the end of the day, you just have to try to pick your spots. I was surprised by some of the strength that we saw over in Bitcoin, but then Joe had made, tell me that's not what you're reading. Joe made a great observation that if the Iranians are asking for Bitcoin for their fee, would that be good? And I was like, oh, maybe. But then I really do think, you're talking about international waters, charging a fee to cross the Strait, I don't see how that's going to fly in general. So I don't really see that as working out all too well. There is one name that I am actively looking to try to get back into. I feel like this is a broken record, but man, I said it this morning. Like I left this morning, I got out of Nike too soon. And then I got back into Nike, and then I got out of Nike too soon. So I don't know if there's going to be another pop.
Okay.
But it's headed down to the lows. And if there is, we're going to try and get that one again. And let us know what else you guys are watching. I know that SKYQ for a small capper is certainly going to be on the radar. It did just lose. Little double top action. Did just lose the high here. And so we'll see if that one's able to hold up for sure. IBRX I just saw in the chat's going to be in play. I see Mike Peter Ryder is in the chat. As usual. Watching Skynet, someone just said. CoreWeave.
Skynet.
Well, first of all, is Skynet a stock? Because hopefully Skynet's not actually real. CoreWeave's back near the highs. I want to find some relative strength and weakness. Also want to try to find things that are doing good volume. It's Friday afternoon, and if there's no big headlines, this is exactly when you don't want to be, forcing trades, over trading if we're not going to get crazy market movement.
You don't want to trade Skynet, my boy?
What's Skynet?
No, it's not an actual type.
It's not a stock? So then why is watching Skynet a thing? Oh, Palantir. Okay,
Palantir.
Palantir.
Palantir is the
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're calling Palantir Skynet. I guess that makes sense.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's not really. Come on now, Skynet was on a different level. Palantir's not at that level.
Yet.
You say yet?
Yeah. I mean, do you think it can get there?
Well,
out of all the current AI companies, who do you think has the most potential to be Skynet?
If you hooked up Anthropic, if they didn't get blacklisted, not Palantir, I would have guessed it would have been one of those.
Okay.
But I mean, who knows at this point?
Anthropic.
Yeah, who knows?
Combined with Tesla. Combined with Tesla with the robotics. Right?
Well, see, actually, that makes, now that you say it, because you got to have the robotics aspect of it, XAI. Yeah, Tesla. But then Elon, Elon's the best. But Elon's comment, this is exactly goes against this kind of thing. He's like, I ain't trying to build no AI for robots if I can't be the one in control. Because he's like, I have to be in control of that. I don't trust it. So at least he doesn't want there to be. He doesn't want it to get to that point.
What if he goes Kanye after he gets all this control after? You think he could?
That would be bad. But that would be true of anybody. All right, so Skynet apparently. So I guess we're calling Palantir Skynet now. So Skynet losing VWAP precipitously here. Yeah, you hold under VWAP, maybe take down 126. I hate looking afternoon short on the stock that the president literally told everyone was fantastic. It just feels like, oh, that's the wrong thing to do, but that's where we're at right now. Palantir looking like it's breaking down. Darwin says Alex Karp has entered the chat. Why? Because we're calling the company Skynet? Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not. The scary thing is all this stuff about Sam Altman, dude. Have you seen some of this?
Have you seen him?
No, like there's all the articles about Sam Altman. Like he's perfectly willing to donate his brain to science.
A lot of people are doing that. You know Elon?
No, I know. No, I mean, he'd be willing to die to have his consciousness
saved?
Put digitally. Because he thinks that would be good for humanity. He's like, it would be such a benefit for humanity.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm not that eager to die. I like life. Life is a gift.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying that wouldn't be an amazing accomplishment for humanity, but that could get done without me having to die.
You see Elon Musk's, his ex-girlfriend Grimes wants to get the Neuralink. She wants, just because, like it's not like she didn't even really need it.
People could all try the Neuralink thing, man. That's good for them. And then when everyone else has been a guinea pig, and it's now safe.
I know you like those dystopian type movies. Have you ever seen the movie Upgrade?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
So-
that's
but
what
he just gets
the guy that people mistake for Tom
Hardy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I
don't even know his name.
Yeah, no one knows his name.
Shoot.
But
He
yeah,
was in Prometheus. I should know
Yeah.
this guy's name. He's actually a pretty solid actor.
he's pretty good. I mean, that wasn't a bad movie whatsoever. Aside from that, man, let's get into some stock talk here and see what we got going on. A lot of bounces. Palantir did break down. There's a little bit of a rebound there.
I can't
The overall market SPY and the TQQQ is still moving a little bit lower, and some of these bounces aren't really sustained here, guys. So let's get the volume weighted average price on here and see what we can figure out for that next potential move. I mean, we were looking really, really positive this morning, and then you get a couple news lines and a couple headlines step in, and then sure enough, you're like, oh, okay, their narrative changed pretty quick in the sentiment in the overall market, and down we go in both the SPY, the Palantir, but the chip names holding up relatively well. So if you're looking for signs of strength, I think that's where you want to start to head. It is Friday, so the big boys might be already out to lunch or going out for drinks. The big Wall Street boys. Aside from that, you have multiple bounces off of VWAP and NVDA, and then we also had AMD that was relatively strong this morning with the TSMs. So that's where the signs of strength are. If you're looking elsewhere, it might be a little bit more difficult. I thought we'd get some more continuation in Palantir, considering, right, like we had the Donald Trump tweet. I wonder if he owned any, well, I don't know if he's allowed to or anything along those lines, but I wonder who he was helping out with that specific thing, because I think it was so random, the fact that he just decided to put the ticker in there and everything else along those lines without some of his buddies being the beneficiary of what just essentially happened.
It was pretty unique.
It's very unique. I don't know if we've ever seen, I don't know, I've personally never seen anything along those lines. And think about how much trouble Elon Musk, we didn't even get in that much trouble, but Elon Musk got in trouble with doing that with the cryptocurrencies and everything.
The thing with like Elon is the head of a public company.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, this is not trying to be political or anything.
Yeah.
That's different. It's different. Like what happened to him is you're the CEO
Talking in your book.
of a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
There's certain things that you can and cannot say about the company. It's like there's just certain disclosures, and it is what it is, and it is a different story. And you can argue the moralities of it and whether it should be different or not, but it is different, unfortunately. And I respect Elon and what he's accomplished, for sure.
But
A couple of things that I'm just worth noting here. I don't know if this is gonna have the volume to go, but Netflix, kind of strong this afternoon. The market's not doing much. It's trending into a bit of a high break. It really failed this breakout at the open through 102.5, not 120, 102.5. So that looks like something that could get going. My first look, Bitcoin refuses to break trend at all. I think the first look right now is going to be, there it is, Palantir. Everything about this is like, why would you want to be short Palantir when the president says he likes it? But the structure of this, lower highs, I was long a few times off of VWAP, and then like the last time was just like, what in the what are you doing? And I was short other stuff at the time. So I'm thinking short under VWAP here. Either we pump into VWAP or it's just going to be a 126 breakdown. Are you only eating this? You're not eating the chicken? Tell me you got the chicken.
Brother.
Tell me you ate.
Yeah, we got the chicken.
Oh, you did eat it. I'm just saying because it was really good.
We'll start with the salad, right? We'll start with the salad, and then we'll move to the chicken after the show, right? We just got to put a little something in the stomach.
It took me 3.5 minutes to eat the chicken. I sat down here at 11:50.
I mean, you were also dancing about the chicken as well, too. So you were looking forward to
yeah, whatever. I like food. I enjoy food, man.
Yeah, I enjoy food. I like food too, man. We start with the salad.
I usually.
You're also giving me heat about the bagel that I ate this morning.
Oh, I didn't give you heat about the bagel. I just simply said it's a lot of carbs.
It's not, dude. Half a bagel is not a lot of carbs. You probably ate more carbs in the gravy that you just had with the potatoes.
Yeah, but that's gravy.
Yeah, okay, so now we're justifying the carbs here.
What? I'm just saying, it's gravy. Gravy's good. A bagel is so boring.
Not an everything bagel. It has every seed on it. Come on, man.
Still boring. Bagels are boring and they're overrated. And I said it. Don't at me.
That's all right.
Please don't ever say that. I love bagels.
Favorite bagel, Sia?
Poppy seed and everything.
I mean,
Why is that disappointing?
I'm not. I said that's bang.
It's so plain.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there we go. Like, we'll look at the bang for you. Depends who you ask.
It's a bagel.
Boggle.
We just heard in our ear, is it a bagel or a bagel? It's a bagel. Bagel? What the heck is a bagel?
You know what's a better bagel? New York rainbow bagels. I don't know if anyone's ever tried this.
Rainbow?
They're colorful.
Oh, those are horrible.
know
No,
what that
they're
is.
not. They're actually great. For this,
What's in that though?
I'm sorry?
I'm ignorant. What's in that? I have no idea.
So rainbow bagels are basically, like the name suggests, it's rainbow. It's multicolored, but you can add any kind of cream cheese, any kind of protein to it, and it's only available in rainbow bagels.
This is stupid question. But like, so it's just like food color to make it like there's no flavor for the colors. It just has color for.
No, they're like purple. They're like purple. It's like, dude. So picture like the circle, and like a quarter of it is like red. The other bit's like purple. Some of it's orange.
Why though?
I have no idea, man. You
So
gotta ask.
it just has a color for no reason.
This is
Yeah,
a
just-
tourist trap, honestly.
Okay.
I fell to it, yeah.
No, I'm genuinely confused. Tourist traps are the worst, man. I had the worst experience. I went to Paris, and we made the dumb mistake of not planning how and where we were gonna eat when we visited the Eiffel Tower, and we got stuck, and we're like, okay, it's late. Here, like 2 minutes away, and we just found this restaurant, which was gonna be a tourist trap, and it was like the whole time we were there was the most expensive meal we had, and it was by far the worst. And we knew it going in, we had done screwed up because that's not how you're supposed to do it. But anyways, let's get back to brass tacks. Look. Palantir hasn't tested VWAP, nor is it broken 126, and I'm not really looking at anything else right now, except for, I have some eyeballs over here on BM. I don't know if I want to try this one again. I don't like it. I was in this. It's at VWAP. It could turn around. I was shorting this one for the majority of, lunchtime. Like breakdown here, then tried the higher low, left an order out like an idiot, and then got stopped there. If it could maybe break the trend under VWAP, that would make a little bit of sense, but it's starting to look a little strong to me. So this one might not be the jam. Got to find something else to watch. Maybe Tesla. What's Tesla doing? Hey, Tesla's kind of strong. You were trading Tesla today.
Yeah, it wasn't strong then.
No, that's not okay. I can't even. Well, okay, fair enough. So tell us how it went without telling us how it went. But it's strong now, which is what I was trying to get at. Sharif is too much, man. Sharif's like snorting over there, laughing, and it's Friday afternoon, everybody. So sometimes it just is what it is. I know, but Tesla is relatively strong for whatever reasons. This is not what I expected. I didn't expect Tesla's strength and Palantir blah in the afternoon. You flip this around. When we left you, I would have expected the otherwise. And I also don't like that Tesla keeps failing 350. How bullish can you be when this cannot break past here? Like you should be shorting into this top. Like look at yeah, right? Yes. Talking myself into this, if you guys can't tell. Palantir is still doing nothing. Yeah, this is like 349, 350. I remember what I said this morning, like wake me up when it's able to break out above this level. It still hasn't broken out above that level, so short into that. So I'm thinking maybe, I should wait for the short. And my filler in the chat, yeah, you're probably right about that. Neil trying to keep his composure.
Wait.
There is, I'll be honest with you, there are lots of times on the show where in my brain, like I'm seeing something and I want to talk about, and I want to talk about the market, but then.
Remember that one elevator
can't stop
comment?
laughing.
That one elevator comment yesterday?
I just can't even.
Remember that elevator comment that Jay Dizzle made?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was, no, but what's unfair about that is sometimes the chat will make a joke. There'll be a joke in the chat that has to get blocked. It's inappropriate. It can't go in the chat. It has to get blocked. Nothing you can do about it. But I was dying because it was so funny, and I was the one that was allowed to laugh at it, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm the only person.
I'm not.
You can laugh.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could laugh at it.
That.
I could laugh at it. No one else was allowed to laugh at that joke.
Yeah.
I can't. Right. I would tell you the joke, but it really wasn't. Look, man, it was. A little
Yeah,
bit
it was. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's hilarious. You just have to not get offended. Unfortunately, a lot of people
I
would.
couldn't. Let's put it this way: my pops wouldn't stand for that joke.
Oh no!
Not even not even a little bit, dude. Not even a little.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know.
And which I can respect. USO's moving the other way. I haven't heard a headline. I haven't seen anything, but that is pumping down.
Oh, yeah, look at that go.
Here on USO. So why are we not bouncing strongly? Right? Like, SIA. We're going to SIA for happening now. I'll see if there's maybe it could just be technical on USO here, but the market should be liking this. SIA.
We're going to take a quick look at today's numbers. Core inflation, excluding food and energy, came out at 8:30 this morning. Month-over-month standing 0.2%. Forecasted at 0.3 and previous at 0.2. Nothing changed here. Year-over-year number standing at 2.6%, previous at 2.5, and forecasted at 2.7. The CPI also came out at 8:30 this morning at 330.21, previous at 326, so a bit lower, a bit higher. And the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index also came out today, and it has dropped 11% to a historic low of 47.6 compared to the previous number of 53.3. Now, what I want to do is take a quick look at a headline. Nike's Chief Innovation Officer, Tony Bignell, is leaving the sneaker company after less than a year at the job. The company has announced this just 25 to 30 minutes ago. And Andy Kane, who is a Nike veteran and has been the VP of footwear design since June of 2012, yes, I did a little bit of digging, is stepping up and taking over the position. So currently, Nike is down 3.3%. Another ticker that I want to take a look at today is Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is expanding the distribution of its GLP-1 weight loss treatments, that's Wegovy and Ozempic, through pharmacies and telehealth providers. So this reduces friction in the prescription process, which allows faster patient onboarding and higher prescription volumes. This also, the increased accessibility of this directly supports the continued dominance in the obesity treatment market, where demand remains extremely strong. And with this, NVO trading at a positive 0.19%, sending it back to you.
So Neil and I were just essentially going on is like, hey, you have that aggressive move to the downside in USO, and then why aren't we seeing kind of that inverse correlation between USO and the NASDAQ and the SPY? I just think we've been so heavily inversely correlated that eventually, and Adira was talking about this the other day, is that the headlines aren't being taken as serious, like the algos are starting to cool off, because you see this aggressive move here in USO as it punches through the volume-weighted average price, and the bearishness within each 5-minute print is really starting to pick up. You don't see that strong, aggressive move to the top side in the SPY and the TQQQs, which is like, hey, what's going on? Maybe we're just seeing a little bit of a decoupling here, Neil, and I think that's going to be the narrative. Things are starting to cool down. We're not always going to continuously see that inverse correlation. Even though NVDA is screaming towards the highs, we're not just seeing it in the overall market, so there must be a couple of bigger names that aren't participating. Like, look where Meta is at the low of the day.
Trader 604 might have... If you zoom out, I think the explanation, zoom out on the NASDAQ. Like, this is why.
Exactly.
It's the same reason why when I looked over at Tesla, I'm like, oh, Tesla's strong. And then I looked over at Tesla and was like, well, I don't like it if it's not breaking. Like, you're in the death chop. We've been unable to get through this 25.4. And what was said in the chat was, we don't have that correlation above 25. Like, when we're at the lows and we have room to go, that's one story, but when we're in the chop fest at the top, that's another. So it almost feels like, okay, if that's the case and USO is gonna bounce and do some kind of a recovery, then maybe that's to look for a rollover somewhere, which brings me back to, now I'm just sort of looking for a place to roll something short. Tesla's not near that high. I was talking about, well, Nike's its own piece of, why would I even trail out of that? I know why I trailed out of it, but that thing is terrible, so that's not going to happen. BM&R, that should be an opportunity maybe on this. Yeah, maybe this rolling over at the same price we were taking it before. Let me play this the other way and say if we're not going to go higher on this, then try to look for some kind of a pullback and sort of stick to something I was already playing to the south side. Let's go back to SIA.
Yeah, just seeing here, Notes from Israeli Broadcasting Authority saying that Israel is prepared for the potential collapse in negotiations between U.S. and Iran and a resumption of attacks.
Go prepared. See, that's like that you would think would get a bump in USO.
Right, and then you would see the market go a little bit lower.
Right.
Netanyahu, I wouldn't be surprised, right? I think if it were to come out as a for sure, more or less of a possibility that things may fall out, if there is like, hey, yeah, ceasefire off and we're starting to just unload on each other once again, then that's when I think you see that additional move here in the market. But I think we have to, like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier this morning as well. It's just the fact that look where the market is sitting amongst all of this noise. Right? I don't know, can we look at it in that aspect, that it's just noise at the end of the day? Gorb said it perfectly. Like, eventually the market and retail space, or whoever is behind the screens, are going to price in the headline sensitivity to the point where it's like, hey, it's not really affecting us anymore. You do have that odd volatility spike, but think about at the beginning of the conflict. They were more aggressive and you could base trades off it. Now it's just like, oh, it's little pop shots here and there throughout the intraday session, and we've seen that all week. It's just like, okay, boom, you get that spike and then immediately back to the downside. And then now today you have multiple headlines coming out and there's nothing from a volatility standpoint that is like, hey, okay, what are we gonna do based off of that? Nothing has been what we've seen in the earlier stages of the conflict. And I think it's gonna continue on that path. Eventually the market's just gonna price everything in and then things will cool down.
I hope things will cool down. Well, you already made the call, Joe.
What's that? All time? Yeah, so what is that? What do we call it? What are we classifying the middle of summer?
So just
we'll say the start of August.
First of all, I don't think that the middle of August, because the call this morning was that the SPY will make a new all-time high by the middle of August.
Yeah.
What was it, by the middle of August?
Yeah.
I feel like we're so close now. You're giving us a lot of time to be able to do it. That's a lot of time to go a small distance.
I think we have to pop the hood open and just essentially look under it. And what I'm getting at essentially is that look how strong it relatively is right now, considering what we have going on. And then when everything, like if and when things start to cool off and there's an end to it, just what can happen. Like it's kind of going to add a little turbo boost to the market that is already relatively strong. And then we're also rolling into earnings season. So if you have the hyperscalers that are extremely, some of them are down into bear market territory and they get a pop, there's without a question that the SPY and the NASDAQ can climb 4.5% and 2.5% respectively.
Oh, I think it can happen too, especially if we have those good earnings. It's just more along the fact that it took us a while to get down there, and we've been flashing back up to the top and doing that last little push. If we don't have to actually prove we can sustain above it, and it's just can it tick a fresh high? At this point, it seems like that's a decent chance. Ooh, it's Palantir. Palantir might be breaking. Palantir just broke. I just canceled that order too. There we go.
Why were you thinking long on? Were you thinking long on Palantir?
I mean, before the VWAP break, I was thinking long. Like if we go back to like 1 o'clock or so, but no, like now I'm starting to think short. Like short, give it to the prior high because it's a pretty decent sized gap fill. Everything in your heart and mind usually would tell you from our experience of when the president says he likes something or puts a stake in something or whatever, you don't want to go against it on that same day. But that's a pretty distinct 129 top, distinct lower highs, consolidation under VWAP, and then a breakdown. Setup is a setup is a setup. And then BMNR, I think, it was on my chart, you guys. So you probably saw BMNR break that trend as well. So I'm back into that one. I was right in front of VWAP. I'm like, ugh. Trend breaks at VWAP for an entry, so I immediately trimmed some just like right away on the bid because I feel like I have it a little bit too tight to VWAP. If it comes back up, I can try to reload closer to the 50. So just Palantir on that flat bottom break, and then we'll see what happens next. That SKYQ is still going to be in play. Oh, never mind. Well, it's in play, but it's also halted to the upside, SKYQ. Would have just halted to the upside about 40 seconds ago. So now up a whopping 86% for SKYQ. And that is what you call a parabolic move. It is out of the stratosphere. See, every now and then, you can actually have a reverse split that doesn't suck. What you don't usually have is a reverse split that sustains a move like this. So congratulations and good luck. Oh, that tap is not good. Yeah, for anyone excited, but the tap is like 1160. It's indicating 1149. That might change as it gets closer to the time, but that would not be good. Let's go to Adair.
It's interesting here. As oil drops, we're seeing some headlines kind of mixed, but mostly suggesting that we could get tensions increasing again. Israel's army reportedly getting ready for the possible collapse of discussions between the U.S. and Tehran, which could lead to further attacks. Furthermore, you've got Press TV, which is Iranian state media, just be aware. And on this, I guess, the station or this TV station, we've got Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, saying that Iran's responsible approach to the ceasefire, in his words, could lay the foundation for regional stability. So that would explain a potential drop in oil, any regional stability. But then again, we've got the headline right before it suggesting that Israel's army is preparing for more attacks. So super back and forth. At this point, as I mentioned yesterday, it seems like there's a bit of a kind of divorce between the headlines and the moves in oil. A lot of the time, if we get more details, I will let you know.
Thank you, Adair. So, okay, SkyQ's tap is now at 1355. It was initially immediately indicating lower, but sometimes what that could be is just the first market on open orders that came into the south side, like people selling that want to sell on the open, which should tell you something, that if the first orders were the other way, that could mean, whoa, why am I, oh, I know what I did. Dang it, Neil. Dang it, Boomhauer.
What's that from?
Okay, first, what just happened, which was me, the second I got the fill, I knew what I had done, which was bid out more shares than I actually had, so I was long. It's the second time I've done that today. I haven't done that in forever. I've done it twice today. I did it on SMCI this morning. Yeah, SMCI. Like I went to get out, and instead I ended up reversing for no reason whatsoever and just got out flat. So it's the second time I've done that today. But it is breaking underneath VWAP. I'll reload this one if we can just get it at the volume weighted average price. Just try to get right back into this thing. Here, if we're still in Palantir, it's from Hank Hill.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know the show, right? It's King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, yeah, King of the Hill. There goes Craig, guys. Like Craig, one of the small cap names, 409 million shares traded on the day. It was consolidating right around this low of 58 cents, and then it breaks, gives you 10 cents pretty quick. But you can see on the higher time frame, just a lot of barcode type price action. And in order, you don't want to see an aggressive defense like that right out of the gate, especially when you break out of a resistance zone. You want to see that volume really be sustained and continue. And if it gets more aggressive, then maybe you come back into the middle of the range. So not a horrible look there in Craig. Pull back and hold of the resistance now can act as possible support. And I think you have a good position there on Craig. AIXI just hasn't been him today, but I like what we have on the 5-minute time frame. Let's see if this is going to start to print. But liquidity issues as you start to head in and zoom in on the lower time frames. You can see the barcode type price action. And with that being said, things can get a little bit more spready, and the moves can be a little bit more vicious as well, because you just have individuals who are just offering and bidding at just significantly lower prices, and there's no liquidity whatsoever. But 5-minute print, not too bad of a look. I think we're going to take a little bit of a long here, Neil, on AIXI to see if we can get a bounce off of these lows. I love that 5-minute print, and we have to put our money where our mouth is, essentially, to see if we can take advantage of a couple of opportunities.
I don't remember what that company was.
Who, AIXI?
Yeah.
It's an AI play. Apparently, they won like $1 billion trial. It's like a Chinese-based AI.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. We can pull it up here. AIXI. I can pull that up and see what we have. Chow. Yeah, it's Chow Corp. Chow I Corp.
You're brave enough to at least try to pronounce those.
I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not.
I don't even bother.
Chow Corp. Anyways, aside from that, yeah, the Supreme Court, People Court rejected something. Apple's application to have Chow's VIE patents declared invalid. So therefore, judge ruling in their favor, and then that's why the stock has been on a run for the past couple of days. Aside from that, there's a quality question, and I like these. I think Neil will be really good on touching it. I'll give my spiel quick on it. I have a very curious question. Really hope you see this, seeing it right now. 1, do you guys journal when you trade, like each day? 2, you guys do multiple trades each day? How do you manage greed? Well, in order to manage greed, I think you need to have a plan and stick with that plan. I think that can help and eliminate it. I personally record all of my trades every single day, regardless of how many, and then I implement it into my equity curve. So why? I can go home in the evening time and see what I did well, and even look at bad ones, all right? Even though March and April haven't been the best, I still want to analyze and continuously push forward to see what we can get going on here. So to answer both of your questions, to manage greed, have a plan. And do I document? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I don't physically, I'll admit, I don't physically journal anymore. I did at the beginning of my trading career, I absolutely did. And then over time, maybe you could call it laziness or just I just kind of didn't need to because I just got really good at the whole like mental, this is what happened, this is what I did right or did wrong, and then you're just doing the same pattern over and over again, and it just at some point it got a little bit repetitive. I do go over every single trade, why I was doing it, why it worked, why it didn't. For the greed part, there's two different types of traders, and or mentality. It's a spectrum, but I feel like you're usually on one end of the spectrum or not. And there's the end of the spectrum where you don't have any problem. You're always looking for the big home run. Everything is the biggest opportunity. And there's the other side of it where I approach everything from I like to trade based on its probability to win and not having too much of downside. And it gives me this structure for it. I fall into that side. So I tend to not get blown out. I tend to be the more consistent. So I don't have the greed problem is the other side of it for me. And to give you an example, there was a guy I sat next to when I was a trainee, and we traded the same stocks, and we graduated at the same time. We ended up, this is also who the third person when Sean and I opened our office, it was this guy on the floor. We were the two early veterans, because when we started on the head office floor, there were no full-time traders when we graduated. It was just us. So when we graduated, we were the veterans right away. And I remember at the 5-year mark in our trading, and I'm not making this up. This trader and I had P&Ls after 5 years, P&Ls within 5% of each other. He probably shut down. If I shut down once a year, he'd shut down once every 2 weeks. His biggest day was 3 times my biggest day, but we were within 5% of each other. He traded 4 to 5 times as many trades as me. We were totally different, yet results about the same. And the best part about it is we really fed off each other. We learned from each other. But you have to understand which part of the spectrum you're on, like where you fit, so you can try to accentuate your strengths and limit your weaknesses. It all starts from what are you best at? And if you're best at risk management, then approach trading from there. If you're best at holding big winners, then approach it from that aspect too and look for the big winning trades and try to accentuate what it is that you're good at. Because trading is going to be hard enough if you're trying to make yourself something that you're not. It's not going to work. You can try to get better at certain things, but you want to find what fits for you, the patterns that work for you, the style of trade that works for you, and try to accentuate that. Trying to change who you are, I don't know, man. My wife will tell you the same thing. You're not going to change yourself. I believe that was a call for the desk, but I was rambling like a fool, so I don't know if that was Sia or Adara.
Don't worry, Neil, that was good advice over there. We're just going to take a look at the IWM in the red by 0.22% currently. Let's take a look at a couple individual tickers. AAOI up a whopping 15% today. GH Garden Health down almost 12%. JetBlue down by almost 5% after the news on increasing baggage fees by $10 with other airlines. And SMPL, the Simply Good Foods company, is down by almost 11% on the day after analyst comments saying neutral by UBS and hold by Deutsche Bank. Sending it right back to you.
To school with his cousin.
Well, thank you, Sia. I didn't know that. We have Connor Brown because that's Sean's. He probably wanted it or something. I don't know. I don't know why we have Connor Brown. I gotta be honest with you. You're the hockey guy.
Yeah. I mean,
Not me.
I think he plays in Ottawa now. He was in Edmonton, I think, for a bit, then went to Ottawa. Aside from that, I'm not in anything. We have him starting to pick up a little bit of a movement to the downside. We can run through our scanner a little bit more. NVDA obviously going to be at the top of his class from a mega cap name with volume 117 million shares. And then obviously with the volatility spike and the Donald Trump headline there, brackets PLTR, you're sitting in that second place with about 97 million shares traded on the day. 45 million on, ServiceNow actually putting in a lot of volume here, Neil. This thing's been getting absolutely slacked here today. I mean, Dump City from $88 down to $81 in a complete waterfall, essentially, in ServiceNow. Extremely weak. Runs right into towards the volume weighted average price, and then it's like, okay, yeah, cool, that was fun, wasn't it? Now, back to the downside with ServiceNow. QBTS, one thing that I want to take a look at and was kind of outlying and moving well.
I got something for the quantum names.
What is it? Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see a rally? It's pretty cool to watch how. So like, I mean, I'm using the example of the quantum space, the marijuana sector, and everything along those lines, where you have these like sectors, like subsectors, kind of being hot for so long and seeing these substantial returns, then the Wall Street being like, yeah, we don't even really care about them anymore.
No, it is like that, but the difference between the quantum sector and the cannabis or marijuana is one of those two things actually is a technology that can change the world with explosive and ridiculous upside. There was always a limit.
Weed, right?
I see what you did there. No, it's really not. Anybody can grow it, man. I mean, come on. It was never going to be that. How big of a deal was it ever supposed to really be? Quantum computing can change it's just that can change everything. It was never going to be the same thing. And if you're on a weird note, I'm watching that Paradise on Disney. That is legit. There's a quantum aspect to it, but I just realized I shouldn't say too much about it. I don't want to spoil anything.
You don't want to spoil anything? Did you watch?
It's actually not really a spoiler.
Did you watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
So that's the show my wife and I are doing.
Yeah,
we're busy.
On it right now.
It's so hard. In a month and a half, we've watched 3 episodes.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Like finding a time where we actually can. Life is what it is. You just get too busy for TV sometimes.
Absolutely.
Easy peasy, giving us the super chat. Thank you for the Neilage experience drops. Well, I tend to talk a lot, so hopefully sometimes there's some good experience coming through. No, it really just comes from, I like passing on the things that I learn. Like you see, so remember we were talking about bagels. Like if I hear something I just don't know what's up, like I have this tendency to just, I'm curious. I just want to know.
Of course, man.
Like it's just sort of how my brain works. So I just make this weird assumption that everyone else is the same way. And if I get a question or something's interesting, then I want to expand on it the way that I would want it expanded on if I was the one asking. So I tend to view things from that direction. So just back to brass tacks for a second. I've been saying that a lot because what's his name? Bob Odenkirk says that a ton in whatever the show is. I forget. Better Call Saul. Since the breakdown of 126, no revisit yet. It's basically a slow grind down. So hopefully we're stair-stepping it in. I haven't found a reload spot. Like there's no obvious, outside of trendline tool, outside of maybe just looking at, got a couple points here, see if we can't hold that trend line and look for that as a re-entry to fill in more of the gap. We're still seeing the fall in USO, but the good thing is, we had that disconnect. We don't have to. I don't think I have to worry about USO being in a downtrend for this to accelerate. However, if USO were to bounce and bounce aggressively, I would still look at that as a reason to add to the short. Even though this going down isn't a reason to go long the NASDAQ, I would think it bouncing could still make the short better, if that makes any sense. So I'll look, if we get a nice trend break here on USO, I'll look for that as a reason to add to Palantir short and see if that'll be okay. And if you're wondering what's going on, Palantir's down, you showed ServiceNow. The IGV's at the low of the day looking for a flat bottom break. So there's even a sentiment play down here that you could have software continue to lose the shelf. Like we're already past everything. 52-week lows, daily lows, apparently post splits as well. So you have some pressure on the sector in addition to this. So looking for a place to add to Palantir still makes sense to me, Adara.
There's a name going to intraday highs, DPRO. This is Dragonfly Inc. Looks like the CEO is currently on Fox Business and just said, and I quote, "Business is going well beyond our wildest dreams." Yes, it appears this one comment was enough to send DPRO to the upside. This stock appears to be a small cap, just passing through that $5.50 level. So again, CEO of Dragonfly goes on Fox Business, says, quote, "Business is going well beyond our wildest dreams," and stock flies. Back to you.
Usually you want to fade those types of headlines. Like if it's just that you appeared on a network and the things are going well, fade the top.
Dragonfly Inc. I mean, it's moving, guys. We're in a little bit of applied digital to see if we can get a bounce. I like what I'm seeing on multiple time frames. DPRO is really moving. Thanks for bringing that one here to us, Adara. We'll pull it up. Look at the volatility really step in on this name. I mean, off to the races it goes. Massive gap up as well from $5 roughly, just right when the volume steps in, 520 all the way up to 552. So relatively strong there and a pretty good look. I mean, and I like what Neil's getting at essentially is just fade that move because the chance of it coming in. But if you kind of take a couple steps back and look at the liquidity, all the way up until where we just got that volume spike, it's not really there. So if I'm looking at this, I highly doubt that this move is going to be sustained. But you also don't want to fall into the realm of like, hey, how am I going to get out of this position if I need to, just due to some of the liquidity strains that we're seeing on some of the time frames. But now as for applied digital, why am I getting long in this? Let's pull it up here. I like it for a potential bounce. We'll see if we can figure anything out on it. I mean, it's not looking too bad right now. Apply digital. I like this 5-minute print. You have that sell-off right at some key support levels. You can see it on the 1-minute time frame as well with the volume supporting that move. So let's be patient and wait for a high-quality move. I think we can get that bounce. I'll grab a little bit more, some lower, but as soon as we break that 22 mark, started relatively small just to see if we can get a feeler and a potential bounce in the name. And I think that we have the opportunity to do so. But first things first, the trade needs to work before we look to increase our size. Things can tend to cool down around this hour, and then I think that we're going to find some good opportunities come the imbalances. The market hasn't been clean over the past couple of, it has been clean over the past couple of sessions, and today being one of the more difficult here, considering that we're south of VWAP, strong in the earlier hours with lots of volatility in the market. I like our chances for some good imbalances stepping in and some higher names. Netflix was the one out of the higher values, was holding up really well. I mean, look where we're sitting at from a market standpoint, some more indecision prints right at VWAP, and then sure enough, off to the races we go to 102.60. Considering the sentiment in the overall market is weak, I like that this is holding up strong. And we were talking about the options chain and what we've seen at the 105 mark expiring next Friday in 7 days. I like NFLX for it to continue its northeast trajectory right now, especially we're hearing talks that, okay, there's a lot of debt coming with Warner Brothers, Larry Ellison holding on to some with this, obviously with Paramount Skydance. But I think that was and I use the same reference because price action reacts the same way. The scenario may be different and the reason for holding stocks down are probably going to be different. But when that is eliminated and it's kind of the fuzz, the gray area is removed, then you can see strong recoveries. And that's what we've seen in Netflix, up over 25% off of its lows.
I love what's happening in Netflix, dude.
Yeah, man.
I still think I'll get to a chart of Netflix on a weekly because I think it's arrows up to about 118 is the level on Netflix, if memory serves. So that, so Dragonfly DPRO, by the way, in the chat, it might have been Mike, it might have been somebody else. I did exactly the same thing as you. I went to type in the ticker and I just started typing Dragon like an idiot because you're saying Dragonfly. So I'm like DAR, or DRA, and like nothing was coming up.
Nice little move lower there.
It's DPRO, which I don't even know why. It doesn't even, whatever. Dragonfly, why is it DRPO? It doesn't even, or DPRO, it doesn't even make sense, the ticker. It doesn't matter. So it came back through 55. I just feel like if the story is the CEO saying that things are good, okay, that's nice, that's what you're gonna say. Most of the times that you just have an appearance and a spike, once it shows some kind of a high and it closed the 5-minute, held the 550, it was a breakout it was literally a breakout from 525, so going to 550 and turning makes some sense to me. And then looking for a pullback into this high, maybe it gets all the way down to the 25 mark. If we print underneath 540, I'll tighten the stop up, but nothing doing for now. And then I wanted to go to Netflix because I want to show this. Like, I think Netflix is a potential ring the register on this bad boy.
You think so already?
Well, I haven't taken anything out. But
you said ring. You're looking to take a little cash out.
Yeah, I bought some at 80. I think so.
Okay, so you think it's time to
I'm going to take a quarter out.
Okay.
And ring the register at the 50-period moving average on the weekly.
Okay.
Because to me, like, this is the time frame that the breakout happened on.
Uh-huh.
And this is not only is it like the only green candle, so one green candle here, and then the top was 109. And then we have the break to give you the trend right back into the 50-period in front of the same price. Like, that's the kind of symmetry. Like, my brain, I'm more of a take profit, make sure you bank kind of guy.
Yeah, that's
so, like, I cannot be.
It was a genuine question.
Yeah, I can't be in a trade like this. I wish I was built that way. Because what'll happen is I'll take some out there and then we'll be all the way up here and I'll look like an idiot. But
that's what I'm saying. You don't think that eventually I don't know what, like, long term or anything along those lines, you don't think that Netflix has the ability?
Oh, I already own Netflix. Like, so a while back, I dumped all of my Disney shares, because I held Disney for a long time. I'm old. Okay. I held Disney this is a couple of years ago. I dumped all my Disney and put it into Netflix. So my long term, I already have enough Netflix. I just thought Netflix was a buy once everything turned around.
Okay, so a swing style trade that you had going on there. Okay.
But I still have a core position in Netflix. I love Netflix.
That's
I watch a lot of Netflix too.
That's good.
They have a lot of stuff that you can just sort of throw on. I can watch like 15 minutes. 15 minutes at a time while I'm getting ready or
background noise
or something. Let's go to Sia.
Go to the wash.
Taking a look at the market here, we have the S&P down by in the red 0.14%. Taking a look at electric tech, NVIDIA up in the green 2.63%. AMD up by 3.59%. Google trading flat at the moment. Amazon up 1.77%. Also, like to look at energy. Energy is all in the red, but we do have one name standing out in the green, FANG. Just a couple analyst comments, maintained at buy by UBS and cut to neutral from buy by Roth Capital. That's all I'm seeing here. But overall, market looking not bad today. Sending it back.
I would agree. Like, that's the perfect way to frame it. No, in all seriousness, that's probably the best way to frame it. The market might be flat. You look at your sector board and it's like, okay, well, for everything it's good. There's something that's not looking that great. But you know what? When you consider where we've come from off the lows just a couple of weeks ago, and you look at the NASDAQ, we could deal with, like, flat up here. That's not the end of the world, man. Consolidating near the high, that'll play. Because the alternative is we roll over from here. So sometimes, I know Friday isn't always the most exciting. That's why I went to this DPRO. Because you look for some kind of a catalyst. I don't care what it is. It's just, if you're trying to find something to trade, look for something that moved. Like Palantir is already looking pretty disappointing. I might just punch out of that one flat. Like, what are we doing here, Palantir? If that gets back through the 126, I feel like just get out of it. I don't even want to lose on the trade. It's just nothing too crazy. Like, it went one step, kind of went sideways a bit. Also, too, technically, this is also breaking the trend I was working with. I would have added if it respected the trend, but it didn't. It just broke out. So we get out break even. At least we found DPRO, which went moving a little bit. So that's fine. Actually, I like the comment, Lexter. I'm going to see if I can't find that comment and put it up for everybody to see, instead of just always reading. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Now I can't even find that. Oh, I'll just do it this way. I try to focus on the futures for the last months, but I might be back trading low floater movers if the market is so boring as in the last week. I wouldn't tell you what to do, but I will say this. I've known a few people that are futures traders. Good thing we got out of Palantir. That's starting to shoot up now. There, see?
Palantir.
I've known a few futures traders, and the thing about trading the futures, it's always been true that it's never the kind of thing that every single day is great. It's fantastic. If you trade small cappers, there's something exciting every day, which makes it appealing for people. Mm-hmm. If you're trading the futures, not every day is going to be crazy. If you trade Bybit, not every day is going to be crazy. You have to be able to live with that. You got to be, like, for certain styles of trade, you're just going to have some dull times. Airy Pages, earlier you said you and a guy fed off each other in the early trading days. My question, if you and the team all traded alone from home, no feeding off each other, would you guys have given up? That's a good question.
No, never give up.
No, I don't. See, I don't consider, see, that's not even the way I would look at it. 'Cause I think for trading, what it comes down to is the inevitable the first time you get hit. Like, how do you react to it? I can tell you with 100% certainty, there's a trader I know who had one of the greatest dig out of a hole scenarios of all time that I don't think would have happened if he didn't have the trading floor behind him. He had, not only did everyone feed ideas off each other, he had everybody rooting for him. There wasn't a person on the trading floor that didn't like the guy.
Yeah.
And I remember when I took my first hit, like the first really, really big hit, FOMO trade, Brazil. Shout out to me being an idiot.
So let me.
But getting out of it did. Yeah, I had to go back to brass tack. I was talking to people to make sure I slowed myself down. It does help having the community. That's why we're here.
It definitely helps. But hear me on this thought. I think if something is meant to happen, it will happen regardless of how it happens. So he dug out of that hole. Maybe he was meant to dig out of that hole. The scenario just happened to be on the floor. What if he were to be at home and found a way, like, hey,
know.
right?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Dude was built different. He's a great trader.
Exactly. So
But-
what I'm getting at
know.
essentially is like, if something is meant to happen, it'll happen one way or the other. He was meant to dig out of that hole. He just happened to be here on the floor. I think he would have been able to dig out of that hole because if you're saying that he was mentally built like that, those type of individuals find a way
I'd like to
out of
hope,
his there.
but I never want to make that assumption. There's no question it helps. The community helps. Find people to talk to. I'm just saying, like, you know, and even in this chat, like somebody might be commenting right now about a certain stock they like, and then you're like, oh man, I'm trading that, I saw the same thing. Or I saw it differently. Okay, well then link up, have a conversation in the chat about it. Because maybe you just found somebody in our community that relates to you and is gonna help you on your journey more than I will. Like this is a first small capper, this is a first low float runner I've traded today. Because there's nothing happening in the market, so this one popped up, and like the catalyst seems nonsensical to me, so if I find a fade, let's go for it. Yes, it's the son of Daniel Cheese Tycoon, who is, we know you're diluting shares on us as well, by the way.
That's crazy.
I feel like FN doesn't get the respect it deserves. This stock has been a malfunctioning ATM machine stuck on payout. Those are always good. Fabrinet, who likes, is it Mateo that likes this one?
I'm not sure, maybe.
I think so. Mateo, one of the guys in the back office. I'm 90-something%. Maybe not 80% sure we have a guy in the back office who loves this one. Yeah, upward trends. You always want something. There's always something doing this in the market. And to me, if you don't have something like this in your portfolio, for everyone it's something. For Sean, it's like Marvell. For me, it's GE Vernova and Caterpillar. There's always something that's going up, or a bunch of things that are like memory chip names, Fabrinet, and GE Vernova, like having these straight trends to the upside. You want to be in at least one of them, like to have, especially when the market's not doing anything. Like when the market's kind of in the same range. Trust me, if it's not cascading down and we're just consolidating in the SPY or the NASDAQ, there's something that's trending up. Guaranteed there's something trending up if we're just going sideways. So you want to make sure that, okay, well, what do I have that has that profile? Can I get into something that is breaking out? So Fabrinet's a great example. Oh, shoot, I just went to Blue Ocean. I meant to pull up Marvell, and then I just typed Blue Ocean because alphabetically it always shows up first. Marvell has been trending up. There's always something which is an upward trend when the market's going to the side. If you haven't found that for yourself, you just dig. Maybe you find a chart. Hertz Scrambler says CoreWeave, CRWV. Maybe that's, I'm not a CoreWeave guy. Yeah, see, this would be an example of something which maybe isn't breaking out yet, but is on the verge, or you could argue is, and maybe that turns into some kind of a big trend trade. And you found the one that you like. It's found some support.
You don't like the CoreWeave play just due to the cyclicality of kind of.
I think a little too much risk there. It's hard. I can't wrap my head around why would I invest in CoreWeave when I can get NVIDIA at 19 times? I don't know. I just feel like you're getting NVIDIA pretty cheap to want other stuff.
Fair.
Or I shouldn't say other stuff because I have other stuff in the space. I don't know. Okay. Now Palantir is rocketing again.
Yeah, it's really moving, man. I think at some point it was going to get going once again.
Trend line.
Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. So technical breakout here on Palantir. So a pretty good look on that front. I thought buyers would step in at some point. And they did once again. So that was a nice move considering you have the tweet, or the truth from Donald, and then you sell off a little bit of profit taking, but you still hold the volatility wick high, Neil. And then sure enough, off to the races, you're starting to pick up once again, heading in towards this key support level of 127.15. And I think we're going to see an increase in the options activity momentarily. And I'll do it. I'll pull it up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'll do? Oh, you're back in on the trend.
No,
right?
I'm not. That was me getting out of
that was you. Yeah, I see. I didn't see that.
I just put in the chat. I'm like, you should have told me not to go.
Oh yeah. Well, Donald should have told you if anything there, Neil. But no. Aside from that, like we can take a look at some of the options. There you go. Donald should have let you know.
That's the good slap, by the way.
He didn't tag you on X or anything along those lines.
No, we're not on.
Oh, you're
I don't get that benefit.
Someone said PBR was strong. I thought it was only 5%. No one gets it.
I missed that.
That was a horrible joke. Okay. All right, that's okay. Let's take a look at what were we just talking about? Palantir. I was looking for the double drum with the at the end of it. No one really caught my joke, but that's okay. There we go. Thank you. That was more like.
I think I missed it. It's not that I didn't get it.
Well, someone said PBR was strong, and I said it's only 5%.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's funny. Paps?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know Paps.
I mean, hey, man, anyways, aside from that, 135, and implied volatility increase here to 57%. Now, as for overhead resistance, 130, this is going to be expiring next week here, guys. It's going to start with the congestion here within this zone. What was our high of the day? What was that volatility spike high? Just a
129.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like a triple top at 120.
Yeah, and then what I'm getting at here, essentially, Neil, is that you can see on the options chain, right at 130 is where we start to see a substantial increase in open interest and in volume as well. So you can see why we got that rejection, now starting to slowly climb back because there's a supply zone that essentially didn't get absorbed with Palantir, and that's why we haven't surpassed those levels throughout the day. Yeah, I know, Scott, then we got to work on the jokes, so I'll email you some material. Yeah, please, man.
What? That was a good joke.
I thought it was a good joke.
I just didn't hear it properly.
That's okay. No, I mean,
I'm
Scott
old. I've already said this
so.
I'm not that young.
Yeah, hey, so that's why you got it. You thought it was good. Sia may not even know what I'm talking about, essentially.
Paps?
Yeah.
Do you know what Pabst Blue Ribbon is?
Talk about what?
Pabst Blue
Hold on,
Ribbon.
let me tell her the joke because she's obviously focused. So someone said PBR was strong, but I said it's only 5%, isn't it?
No. I didn't get that.
No, okay, it's all right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a beer.
Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, exactly.
See?
PBR, right? So okay.
Wait, I'm a very bad.
You're
I would
good.
be a very bad server if I didn't know this.
Oh, exactly. So that's a good reason why you would know that.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So
Just-
Adara gave me a little bit of a chuckle, anyways. So
The entire software space is bouncing here. Let's go to Adair. All of software is bouncing.
I don't have news on software. I do apologize. I'm keeping an eye out. I did see a comment from the Pakistani defense minister saying that Israel must be restrained for the U.S.-Iran ceasefire to survive. I've also heard a whole host of other countries, including Saudi Arabia, China, and Egypt, are going to be apparently sending representatives to be part of these talks in Pakistan. So just be aware if I get more details, I'll let you know. But I want to talk here. This is like a part 2 visual. We talked about the first part of this yesterday over on the green screen, the many public companies investing in the USA. So here are like the ones under $1 billion, because I said I could not feature them all on the visual I shared yesterday. You've got GE Vernova at $600 million, Abbott Labs and JBLU both at $500 million, Whirlpool, and speaking of another beer brand, Anheuser-Busch, also investing in the US, Pfizer, Philips, BlackRock, ARM, the J.M. Smucker Company, and Caterpillar. So again, another look here at some of these companies that have invested in the U.S. You can find this visual. I'll drop it in the chat, but it's also an Exec TTV research, and it's linked to the first visual. So you can take another look at that one as well to get a reminder of the larger investments made by companies into the U.S. I'm also hearing U.S. State Department saying that they're urging Beijing to cease military, diplomatic, and economic pressure against Taiwan. Potentially keep an eye here on the FXI or TSM Taiwan Semi. Back to you.
There you go. I like it. I have 3 names on that list. But it really does feel like it's all of software is now program up. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just Palantir. Microsoft, ServiceNow is trending higher. I haven't looked at any of the cybersecurity names. Hey, Friday charts. Maybe not so much. But recovering at least a little bit. But really, Palantir is absolutely surging. There we go.
yeah, it's really moving. Buyer stepped right back into that for sure.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't add to the short list.
Yeah.
All right, is there going to be a dip? It's only power hour now. I didn't recall seeing the power hour graphic.
Yeah, what happened to that?
I'm sure it happened at 4 minutes ago, but I didn't see or hear it. But it is power hour, everybody, and you are powering higher on these names. Maybe there will be a dip. It seems like program trade, but the volume is decreasing on the move. So chasing larger move. Oh, okay, now my thing is freezing. All right, I think that chart's freezing on me. There we go. Now it's back. So chasing bigger and more explosive candles on lower volume is a good way to get yourself trapped. So we'll look to see if it can hold another dip by at some point. Should have just reversed it on the short, but you get distracted by shiny thing. The DPRO just needs to get to VWAP at this point. So got the turn. And someone had asked in the chat, like, why short this on the news? The catalyst of CEO appears on such and such station, unless there's something very materially new that they are bringing to the table, oftentimes, like when you get a big pump, it's just a reversion opportunity. Like the algos buy it up for the only reason because the CEO happens to be on and says good things. Like, okay, well, did that fundamentally change this so it should go from 520 to 550 and move 6% up?
Yeah, that was a really good trade.
Like a lot of times, not really. You had to pay for locates, but at real trading here, they cost a fraction of a cent.
Okay, that's
if
good.
that. So it's pretty cheap for us anyway. So it's just an opportunity. What else is going on? We've got Apple trying to go. Someone just said Apple moving upside. So I looked over. Really? I don't know. Palantir's moving upside. Microsoft is moving upside. This doesn't seem that exciting yet.
NVDA pretty close to its high of the day as well. So yeah, bang. Yeah, I know. Like fist bumps all around for that name. Back up to 190. There goes APLD. This one's starting to work for us a little bit better. I mean, we'll take it. We're not quite at like a little bit less than a 1-to-1. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. A couple more clean flushes above and at the ask. I think we'll have the ability to run into 55s. Where at that point we will be at a 1-to-1, and that's going to be the narrative. There it is, another clean flush. So as long as we remain strong, there's 54. So let's lock in a little bit here as the bid is actually. Oh wow, Neil, the bid is higher than the ask. You see that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm having some quote issues too. So.
Okay, so maybe it's just I see what you're getting at there.
Yeah, execution is fine.
We print 55.
Like prints are fine.
I got the 53. Yeah, I caught the 53, Phil. Yeah, so I mean, I was like, okay, that was a little bit weird, but nonetheless, we kept up there in 55s, so 1.5-to-1 there essentially. Adara.
Oil headline here. Nothing. I guess at this point, you just kind of have to wait and see. But U.S. Energy Department is going to be reportedly loaning 8.5 barrels of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves to 4 companies. We know these Strategic Petroleum Reserves already heard these were going to be opened up. If they get more details, I will keep you guys posted. But again, looks like 4 companies will be getting, or rather being loaned, a total of 8.5 million barrels of crude oil across them from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves of the United States. Back to you.
But that works.
Okay,
thanks. I was just telling Joe, like if that happens, you just refresh your chart. You don't type in a new symbol. You just hit the enter as if you did, and then it should be fine.
10,000 shares, bang.
Oh, you don't want that. That's the other lesson you learn as a trainee is if you have an order that gets stuck, confirm what happened with the order before trying. Like if you try to punch into a stock, oh, I didn't get the shares, but the order's still sitting there. Yeah, don't hit the key again. Everyone makes that mistake at least once. You're like, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the fill.
And then you button mash.
And then you button mash, and then all of a sudden, with just slow messaging for a couple seconds, you come back, all of those orders filled, and you are quadruple filled. Everybody's done it at least once. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. I've done that before. I haven't done that in years and years, but if something were ever to happen, and this goes for anybody, I don't care where you're trading, it's rare, so it doesn't happen all the time.
There you go, bang.
But if you send an order, went to the market, and you don't get the confirmation of the fill, it's not always the correct assumption that you didn't get filled. Sometimes you are filled and you just didn't get the message back. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean it's continuing to climb. There goes APLD up to 60s now. We're out a little bit less than half. We'll figure out. A little bit more than half. So we're sitting on approximately 35% of our remaining position. We'll cut that in half as well too as we lock in some more profits here on APLD as the bid now up to 60. What are we at the ask? I got to refresh this bad boy for.
Is it still happening?
The folks back home, yeah, but it fixes. As soon as I tap in, there you go, it just corrects itself. So now we're up to 62s here on APLD. Not too bad of a look. We like this one for a potential bounce up 4% here today. As Neil was talking about some of the software names, Palantir starting to find somewhat of a rally. You have NVDA only about 50 cents off of its intraday high. But see, the NASDAQ and the TQQs have not been participating essentially here today, which I find extremely interesting. Let's head over to our watch list and see what some of the other names are up to. How has Apple been doing? Who the Jays got this weekend via series?
Twins.
The Twins?
Yeah, we're going to tomorrow.
Okay, nice.
Oh, it's a catch and throw on the field after. So we get after the game, we get to you go on the field.
Are you going? You're going on the field?
Yeah.
Oh,
after,
nice.
After the game.
Because you're that big dog over there.
I'm a big dog.
Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Amazon's still hovering around. I mean, over the past couple of sessions, we've been talking about this on in our options segment, and it's still continuing to climb today, and it's holding up those levels pretty good. So the street liking what they're hearing, essentially from Andy Jassy and company. Quantum, we talked about the quantum space, but right now let's go back and focus. The market is starting to continue its rally higher. The majority of, a couple of them anyways, are above the volume-weighted average price, but we have the SPY and the TQQs not showing any signs of strength. We're now printing 64s at the ask here on APLD. Let's see if we can run into 65s. We're sitting on 20% now, and now we're printing 66s. So let's cut that in half and leave a little bit of a run, and we're going to lock in whatever profits we have and just leave some for the dream. It's nothing substantial. Now sitting on 10% of our remaining position as APLD climbs to 4.25% high. So holding on to those gains today.
APLD, that's a strong one. It's a good one for sure. I like it. We missed a couple of super chats. I know there was just one from On the Rail, but I don't think we got Boba Plays? Bob, eh? Boba? We like Boba Fett. Boba Fett, sorry. I should say it right. Thoughts on Adobe? I've never owned Adobe. I've never really been a fan of Adobe. I think if you want opinions on the software, Fabian on the ones and twos over there, I can see him. He'd be a great person to ask. Broken, and this is, I'll just give the standard. If something is in this kind of oh, not again. Okay, so I'm definitely having some kind of connection issue because now my ECNO chart doesn't want to go. All right, so anyways, this would just be just fine. Market it's clearly trending down. Nothing about this has come close to breaking the trend. You have to have a very strong fundamental case about a company, to me, to want to just sit there and try to pick it up when it's in this precipitous of a fall. If you can make that case, and I can, I don't know them well enough, and I don't care to, and I've never owned them, but if you can, then fair enough, that's you. Otherwise, let it try to make a bit of a bottom. Only because this is the first thing that came to mind, and there's probably better examples of this. I'm sure there are better examples than this. But it's the first one that comes to mind because it's making the fresh highs today, which is Marvell. Look at Marvell at the beginning of last year. Goes into a nasty tailspin. Does it matter if you have it at 45? When it reclaims a 50 period at 62? When it reclaims a 200 period at 80 in the 80s, which I'm pretty sure Sean was in either here or here. You don't have to have the bottom. And so a lot of times we get wrapped up in this notion of getting the bottom.
Yeah.
When really, if it's good and it's going to go, let it do something that indicates it's really broken the downtrend. Unless you have a strong case fundamentally, which is perfectly fine as well. Thank you for the super chat. There was one other. It was On the Rail. And there it is. Thanks, Neil, for getting to my super chat at the end of the day.
Wow.
Yesterday, Palantir has been kind to me again today, but less drama. I think it's a good long swing. If the president likes it, when was the last time that there was an endorsement of anything from the president and it wasn't a good buy, at least in the next couple of days? I can think of one that didn't last, and that would be, was it Lithium Americas? Didn't really last very long, but it was still a good run for a while. Let's go to see it. Thanks, On the Rail.
Yeah, taking a quick look at Money Talks here. So the three biggest global currency stories right now, markets are fixated on today's US CPI data and the Fed's next move. So that's keeping the dollar on edge against the euro, yen, and all the other commodity-linked currencies. Secondly, the U.S.-Iran ceasefire and still tight tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz are keeping risk-off sentiment alive and supporting the dollar as a safe haven. Finally, the central bank and the ministry are making big waves. Japan's top FX official has flagged readiness to defend the yen. India's RBI is tightening the rupee market rules, and Europe's ECB is also under the spotlight. Sending it right back to you.
No, that would have been the long.
Yeah.
So Cool Brioche, I did tell Joe about AX, but he went into something else. You can never get mad if you missed a trade to make another good trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
you can't have them all.
You're not going to have them all, but I know Joe was looking at this. It did make the break of the downtrend, and it did go higher. Yeah, you can't really have them all.
That'd be nice.
So
but that's what the algo is for.
Well, that is exactly what an algo is for. An algo that maybe looks at some of those trend breaks,
exactly,
and then can start taking them for you.
Yeah. I mean,
like this one right here. Like you're going to be able to get the SoFi all day trend break. You could be long at 19. Someone just put SoFi running in the chat, so I just went over to it myself. Yeah.
What else do we got?
People still asking about the elevator joke in the chat.
What was that? Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was funny, but we definitely can't
not going
repeat
to say it, man.
Yeah, exactly. What other good stuff can we talk about here? I mean, we got all these stocks across the board. How is Uber, as Obi would like to say, been performing here today? I mean, down at these lows. Run through a couple, and I was just running through them, and I seen Applied Digital, and I was like, I would do myself some disservice if we didn't take this trade. And essentially what I'm going off of in the long is just you can see the buying pressure really start to step in, and on the 5-minute time frame, you can see you just start to form this base right around a previous pivot low. So it's like, okay, we're going to establish this new high, and then maybe we're going to take a little bit of a climb higher, and then sure enough, off to the races, a little bit of an accumulation phase, and then bang, off we go, and a nice breakout and consecutive buying here in Applied Digital. So I'm happy to end the week with that one. A couple of mistakes, full disclosure, red on the session, but that's nothing. We still have the imbalances coming up in 35 minutes or so. We'll look forward to that. It's only a couple of trades away, and I mean, just due to the market sentiment, it's okay. We keep the losses small. You know what I've been doing as of late, Neil, just because I know that I haven't been as performing at my optimal potential, is that I've been cutting my shutdown essentially down to like 66% of it. So if I hit that, then it's just like, okay, stop.
You give yourself an internal stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And not what. So if you trade on a prop floor, every prop trader has a daily loss limit based on it's called the monthly profit MPP, monthly profit projection. Mm-hmm. So it just takes your last like 14, blah, 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 X amount of days and yada, yada, yada. It gives you a calculation of what you make in a month. And then there's a big chart that says this is how much you can lose on that day, and it's constantly changing. So that's your stop. Some traders will elect to say, well, I'm going to have my own, which will make sure that I don't hit that stop at a different level. And I was talking to, I told this story, another trader that we know would also have a certain, if he hits a certain number ever down in a month, he moves his stop down. So like whatever he's allowed to lose, he moves it if he ever gets down a certain amount. Like having that kind of internal control of your risk is fantastic. 90-something% of traders I've come across do not have that kind of internal discipline. Yeah. Which is mostly why they fail.
But I think what comes with it too, Neil, is just that the fact it's like I've had those stretches when I was trading at home where you're just super successful, and then you go on those cold streaks, which happen. Yeah. Right? It's like you don't want to dig yourself too big of a hole. You still want to take your opportunities, but you don't want to dig that hole to the point where it's like, okay, now it's becoming mentally exhausting. And then when you do turn things around, because they will eventually, just a matter of how long it will take, is that now that you have less room that you have to cover essentially to get back to where you essentially want to be.
That's the thing. When the good times are good, there's always going to be another big opportunity. SKYQ again. Okay. Are we going to look at that one? Oh, it's right back into the highs. Right back. It just cannot stop. Just cannot stop. This is a good one. Well, I think you can, Chris Arthur, you can't control how much you win, only how much you lose. I would argue that I would say like you don't have as much control over. Or the better way to put it is almost all traders that I've seen, their success is, or lack of success is more tied to the nature of losses than it is to natures of wins. Like how you lose and what you lose is going to determine how you survive or are profitable in the business more than how you win. It's so true. It's not fun to say. It's not even. It's not sexy to say.
It's not even close. Like it
but
doesn't.
It's just so incredibly true. And yet you have so many people in like everyone else in the industry. It's like when you buy my course for this to win, to do this and you will win, or I made this or that. It's like that literally doesn't help anybody. Like how is your process for trading? How do you manage the risk? Why would you? What does it mean to be wrong in this trade? And why would you get out? What's your R&R here? Like how do you manage to get out of a downturn? Like those are all more important things.
I've seen the best trader I know lose $1 million.
There you go. But when he makes, does he make more than $1 million?
Well, it was over an extended period of time,
okay.
right? Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like more like a bag hold. But just from an intraday standpoint, the best trader I know, even the best lose, and it was a big mistake. So even the best make.
Before we go to see it, outside of myself and Sean, the guy who had the longest run of any day trader that I know that started around the same time as us, and he had a very, very long, successful career. There was just a point where he just let the losses compile. Like he wasn't able to draw back because he'd gotten good enough that he was accustomed to risking a certain amount, accustomed to making a certain amount. And then when he got into a downturn, he just couldn't adjust and he wouldn't temper it back and ended his career. And he was a very good trader. He's just human. Adara?
You're seeing a little headline here from White House senior economic advisor Kevin Hassett, also of fame for being in talks to be the new Fed chair. Regardless, White House senior advisor Hassett saying, and I quote, I hope the gas price spike isn't affecting other things. I'm guessing he's referring to inflation, but odd comment here from Hassett again saying that he hopes the gas price spike is not, quote, affecting other things. That's on Fox News. Be aware, he could still be talking. If we get other comments, I'll let you know. But I thought this one was a bit of an interesting one as we do get oil near day lows. Back to you.
C3.
Intel took 60. Oh, yes, it's back to 63. There's a rocket ship. We were just talking about things. You got to have something in your portfolio that's doing this for you. So like I said, it could be anything. It could be Marvell. It could be Intel. It could be Vernova. it could be, it was Fabrinet was the one that was brought to us. See that? You could probably even hear my keystrokes. Still having a bit of a slow reaction. Whatever, I already reported it. It also could just be my PC, which I haven't restarted. What else we got going on here? Chris Arthur, that was a great comment. I'm going to keep doing it this way because my page is slow. It took me 10 years to manage risk properly, and I'm still a better swing trader after 25 years in trading, swing only, 10 day trading. Everybody has something that you're better at over. It's just it's so weird like that. He's still better at swing trading
than day trading. Yeah.
Whatever speaks to you and whatever works.
I would definitely say the same for myself.
And you never stop growing. That's the other thing.
You don't stop because
never solve the market.
Because nothing is the same. Like there's never one in the same scenario. They're only somewhat identical. Nothing is exactly the same.
Well, you can find when it rhymes though.
Yeah.
Find when it rhymes.
Yeah, when it's definitely correlated. But you can rhyme a bunch of words together, right? Like you can have multiple different words rhyme. And I think that's kind of the nature of the beast.
When I was a trainee, there was a full-time trader. So I was trading Sienna at the time, and there was a buy program. I don't know, somebody screwed up, and there was just buy program on 4 stocks. Sienna was one of them, and this full-time guy, he's like, I know this is a program gone bad. That's what he was saying. And I'm like, how do you know that? I'm just like, you see it going up. And so everyone else was sort of scalping on the way up, like, boom, get in. It still buys, just get out, get in, get out, and just sort of making some money. And he was just there loading into a short. Just loading into this short. And he ended up getting stopped out and shut down. And then the buy program went off, and it came all the way back, like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, whatever it was.
Of course it did.
And I remember being like, man, this guy was an idiot and a fool. And then I was on the train with him, and he was explaining his mentality, what he did wrong. And then he wasn't even on the same trading floor, but like a year later, there was a weird flash crash in Intel. Not even the same kind, different stock. And I remember talking to him on the train. He's like, I crushed this flash crash bounce. And I go, well, why? He's like, remember a year or so ago, that trade on Sienna?
Yeah.
Well, I knew that I had to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. I knew it was BS, but I was shorting into it. I needed to see the buy program stop and then just start hammering in and be willing to just have missed it because I wasn't already in when it turned.
Yeah.
And he goes, when I saw it happen on that Intel trade, I waited. The second there was a hint of confirmation, he just got all in at once.
Nice.
Because he learned that mistake. We're talking, he sat on that for over a year to wait for that opportunity. And that was like probably the biggest trade he made that year.
Bro didn't.
That's what trading
didn't
is
forget,
about.
man.
Shout out to the trader. I don't have to say his name. His name was his trader ID and therefore nickname was Rokolo. Because back then, like your trader ID, sometimes it would say something cool, or that turned into a name, and then we would just call each other that. So that was Rokolo, and they used to call me Nairobi. Should be pretty obvious why, because like it took your first and last name.
Yeah.
That was all. So Sean was Shikadi.
Yeah, Shikadi, and I know you're in Nairobi.
Yeah, Nairobi, Shikadi.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's a few. Like if it said something cool, then you just go by that. And then one of the guys was Debo. Yeah, that was a good one.
Clue in the chat says, Joe, I'm up just under 400 on the day. I'm just under 200 away from completing your goal on building my account up. How do I fight the urge to just jump in on one more fast, high leverage trade to end the day? Neil, I remember you told this story that this guy wanted to make essentially $1 more. He was like, hey, I want to hit this P&L. He wanted to make $1 more. He was mad about it and then essentially lost this whole day. Well, guess what, Kalua? Mondays, like you got a whole next week. Because I've done that so many, like I've done, it's like, oh, okay, just another $5, $10, another $20. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, that one trade didn't work that you were expecting it to. And then you're like, oh, okay, I need to get that back. It's the exact same thing with gambling. You go gambling, it's like, oh, okay, you're up X amount. You know how many times my friends and I have done this in the casino? You go there, you double your money in the span of a couple of hands, you give a little bit back, and then you give the rest of it back trying to gain back that little 20% that you lost.
It was
Don't
the most
do that.
infuriating thing.
Yeah.
I can visually picture the trader that did it. He was sitting in front of me to my left. I could see his screen. I can remember him screaming like it was yesterday and it was like 15 years ago. And I can tell you exactly this. He was at $987 on, I'll never forget this, $987. He's like, I'm just gonna take 1,000 shares and make 2 pennies on something.
Yeah.
And then he took 1,000 shares and lost 3 pennies on something. And then he's at 950 something. Exactly. And then he's like, okay, well, I only need to make 5 cents. And so he just, anyways, and at the end, this was at 3:30, like this time of the day. The guy got shut down LFT and finished the day up like $300 and something. And the whole time just whining and cursing about it too. And and everyone was just like, whoa, you gotta be kidding me. It'll suffice to say he didn't last very long. But that was the revenge trading.
Of the century.
Like, what are you doing? What difference does it make? As a prop trader, you get a percentage, right? So you're just gonna get a percentage of that cut. So realistically, getting over that 1,000, he was gonna get a higher percentage on the next $13 that he made to get over 1,000.
Yeah. It's like
for a Happy Meal, bro.
Brother.
Oh my goodness.
If that.
Back then, that would have been a Happy Meal. I don't know what a Happy Meal is now, but back then you get a Happy Meal.
I don't even know. When was the last time you were at McDonald's?
My daughter loves McDonald's.
Oh, you let her go there?
We'll order it sometimes.
That's crazy. You'll order it.
Yeah.
Brother, we just talked about a whole spiel on how fries. You need to get the fries right there. If there's any fry that needs to be eaten immediately, it's McDonald's fries.
I'll tell you something about when you have kids. Jim.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for that.
I'm gonna tell you something about when you have kids.
Yeah.
All right, so you
I have
tell
a fur
me.
baby.
Okay, so when she looks at you with the puppy eyes and says, "I would,"
That's the thing, man. I'd be.
can we have McDonald's? What do you think you're gonna say?
I know, man. That's the
Then you can talk to me about we need no. I'm gonna pull it out.
Oh, look at here. Like, listen, I'll pull up something Assassino right now, and it's just like, dude, how could you ever say no to to me ever? It's just it's impossible. It doesn't exist.
You can't even see very well. That's my daughter and my nephew. That's not even a good picture.
Yeah.
I should find a better one if I can. Anyways,
I mean,
it's almost 3:30. I should try to get back to trading because I'm going to do something in this DPRO. It won't break VWAP. I'm looking for 528. So the trade's still working. But once it gives me 3 points on a trend line, there's something to do here, which is A, move stop here. This is still slow. Move my stop into here, but then give a chance to reload on the trend line with a tight stop. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to reload on the trend line. I'm gonna sit passively and see if I can pick up a midpoint. and then move my stop in right there. So stop is in. I'll just try to get in passively, which it just filled me. Yeah, so it just ticked up, so I just got filled passively. Really, really tight stop on the reload, but then I can try to scalp the bottom end of this range. Kill growth, you're right. Better learn no before she's a teenager and bigger than you. I don't know if she'll get bigger.
She's not gonna be bigger than him.
But you're right, yes.
It's like, how do you say no to that face? It's literally impossible.
I do. Like, I'm not that big of. If it's something that really, really matters, like we're talking about, hey, I don't like the way that you treated this person or the way that you reacted to this situation, like the important life stuff.
You know what you have.
But every now and then, I'm just gonna say yes to McDonald's.
You know what line you have to drop, Neil? Is the classic "We have food at home."
Oh, I do that. Oh, yeah, but I've said that.
That is crazy.
You say that all the time. Or like the whole like, there's starving kids and wherever. You say you'll never say that crap, and then you say it to your kids too. Yeah. I've dropped that line. Waste food in the house. I think
I'll be hard on my kid, to be honest.
But my daughter is not. She's good. She doesn't really waste food.
Too many softness. I heard that they're not even allowed using a ball at recess anymore.
Don't see. It's 3:30.
That's insane. Like, what kind of bubble are we trying to put our kids in? Like, kids get hurt. Like,
and I tell her stories. I went to the grade school that my daughter goes to right now. I tell her, like, I learned to play baseball in that schoolyard.
So it's true you're not allowed to play with ball, have a ball?
Baseball is my favorite sport. I'm a season ticket holder. I've been playing baseball all my life. My first experience, my dad played cricket, so we weren't even into it. I was in the schoolyard, and I was like 7 years old, and some kid comes up to me and is like, hey man, we need somebody to play ball. You want to come play? I'm like, I've never played baseball before. And then just right there, they taught me the game. I went home like that night. It was like, had so much fun. Yeah. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to play soccer anymore. I want to play this baseball game.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And then I got enrolled into baseball. I've loved it my whole life. Learning and stuff in the schoolyard, and they cannot play with balls here at my daughter's school. She's 9 years old. They cannot bring bats and balls and gloves and go play baseball in the schoolyard by themselves.
This is goddamn teaching.
Because somebody could get hurt.
Yeah, kids get hurt.
Because it's not the school's equipment and somebody could get hurt. Now I'm just getting kind of, because it really does bug me, and I shouldn't. This is a trading show.
When was this made? Like, I don't know.
I don't even know.
It really grinds my gears.
It's so
what are we gonna do? Put all these kids into bubbles, and you're gonna just watch everyone else. I mean, we're gonna have to watch everyone else be significantly stronger. Like, I could go on this tirade. Like, you have kids in Asian countries who are learning how to fight at the age of like whatever. It's just a regular thing. But yet you can't play with a soccer ball or a basketball.
And it's not even about. It's about they won't take risk. You've got to take chances.
You have to.
Because if you don't learn how to take chances and learn how to fail well and learn how to grow from that, I'm just saying, man.
I have a thing to add to this.
Yes, please.
Wait, while we're on this topic, the craziest way that my dad taught me how to swim was just throwing me into a pool.
Man.
I was traumatized. I'm still traumatized by water. I can't go into water where I can't see my feet.
I mean, I'm pretty scared of water as well.
Okay, that's pretty intense. Okay, so my daughter would want me to say this. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Roy Jones Jr. learned that way, and he was turned into a successful boxer. But that's a bit intense. I have heard, or at least I read it somewhere, that we inherently have this ability to learn to swim. So if you're young enough, it happens with animals too. Like, I think dogs are that way. Like, they will figure it out if you just throw them in. I don't know about that. And I'm a terrible swimmer. I'm the last person that would want that. My wife did triathlons. My daughter does swimming, and she's great at it. Yeah. I sink like a rock, and I suck. I don't swim. I survive for a period of time.
How long can you tread water?
I haven't done it in a bit, but like I'm not gonna die. Like I'll probably last a couple minutes, but I will die eventually.
Like, I mean, if you had to swim from, like, say, this end of the studio to the
other. I'd make it, yeah.
Did you do that? All right.
No, but there was one time where my uncle had a boat in, I don't know if he still does, had a boat in Antigua.
Yeah.
He took us out, and then he stops, and he drops anchor, and he's like, well, what are we doing? He's like, we got to clean some barnacles off the bottom of the boat. You guys are going to help me. I'm like, what do you mean we're going to help you? I can't swim very well. He's like, you help. You came on the boat, you helped. You do what I say. So me and my brothers, we had to jump in, and we're cleaning barnacles. I don't tread water well, man.
Oh, yeah.
So after a while, my other brother doesn't too. I'm like, if I stay out here, I'm going to drown.
Yeah.
It's been a few minutes now. I helped. And he was like, okay, fine. My dad was like, you need to get them out right now.
But Neil, honestly, it's okay when you know what water you're getting thrown into, you know? Like when you know how deep it is, when you're just getting thrown into an ocean when you're on a boat, you don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty scared of open water myself, but I can still swim. I'm terrified. It's like one of my biggest fears. Is
West Indians don't always learn how to swim. So the fact that you can, I think, is impressive.
I could tell you a lot of West Indians who don't know how to swim.
My moms can't swim. My pops learned to swim when he came to Canada. My mom still can't swim. She never learned to swim.
I remember one time that I swam in the most sketchy cove of all time in Trinidad and Tobago, just the murkiest water, and literally up the hill, like behind you, they're selling, bacon shark, right? So it's like, I'm literally swimming in a cove where they catch sharks to eat. And I'm like, well, why did I do that? I thought about it a little bit after, but that was
yeah, that wasn't the smartest move you ever made.
No. Wild, man.
Yes, I'm just saying that would not be good. No, see, okay.
No, it's bake in shark.
Bake in, yeah, not bacon, not bacon.
Not bacon shark.
Bake in shark.
Anyways.
Yeah,
in the market, let's get back to these markets here and see.
I mean, look, there's nothing that crazy that's happening. Palantir stopped moving. Even my DPRO, I'll be out of this pretty soon. I reloaded it, but the stop's gonna be here, and I'll probably tighten it up. But I wanna give you guys a look at the early look. This is what the early look imbalances are. Nothing, SGov is the only thing over $1 million to the buy side. Nike is a sell. Okay, Bill, that's just like a treasury thing, I believe. Yeah, 3-month T-bill, ETF. You got Nike to sell 850,000. That's a nothing burger. But you know what? It's not a nothing burger. It's a dumpster fire is what it really is. Down 3%. Nike on Monday, well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We have a graphic for it, so why not use it? So see this? That's the low from Tuesday. It bounced off that low. Probably should not have trailed out of this. It bounced off that low, and now you've got a double bottom on Nike. I like Nike short today. I'm going to like Nike short on Monday. It breaks this 42.37 or whatever that low is going to be. I think that's a classic flat bottom break. The trend is what it is. It just continues to flounder more and more, Nike.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Do you think Nike can eventually run back up that Elliott Hill once it makes a little bit more of a base? That's what we've got to ask ourselves.
Eventually?
Or will Nike pun this afternoon?
Oh, I think it will. But I think one of the things we were talking about after earnings, I'm going to but I'm going to give you the reason why. I'm going to find it for you because I want to show you guys, or at least tell you guys, the right number here. Okay, so Nike trades at 29 times. Right? And this is an apparel company. Yeah. It's not a tech company. Yeah. If it trades at 29 times, that wouldn't be the worst. And its forward is 18, which is, if it was a tech company, that wouldn't be that bad. Industry average is low 10s. If this gets anywhere close to single digits, I think you've got something. Especially if their ability to churn revenue hasn't really, because like they generate a lot of revenue, they have a lot of brand loyalty. There's enough there for just a generic comeback, but it needs to get cheaper. The problem is nobody's gonna like it. And when it's in a tough sector, if it's not at least cheap. If you're like this and you get cheap and you start doing the right things, fair enough. That can happen, but it just hasn't happened yet for Nike. We got 2 planes apparently carrying Iran negotiators landed in Islamabad. Flight tracking data cited by Iranian International. Well, if it's moving USO, I haven't seen it, unfortunately.
I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah, we're still not moving.
Covered, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't go back to their highs. I'm not talking, first of all, I'm not talking about Nike getting back to any all-time highs or any nonsense like that. I'm simply saying giving you some kind of a tradable and actionable bounce. Does it need to get all the way back to triple or double up? No, I think there will be a trade back to like the 50 or maybe the 200 period moving average. If it got the 200 period, that's a 50% move. If it gets even worse, you could be talking better than that. I just don't think it's there yet. Hopefully this is working. My e-signal wasn't connecting properly. Still, it's not Lily. I wanted Lulu. The example I'll give is Lululemon, and I have to go to a monthly here. There was a nice bounce off of Lulu. I was in a swing on Lulu when it was here. I tried it again there. It just didn't really work. You're just looking for constructive bounces on something which is a bit dead. Lulu might need to get underneath $100 for that to happen, but I think Nike could be something similar. Like, why not? Put Nike up, this is going to be really nasty, I bet.
How about you, Adair? Do you think Nike is worse for wear?
Not even working.
Good pun. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't. Honestly, this is not really a stock that I follow intraday, nor is it a stock that I follow necessarily in a longer term beyond reporting on earnings. I think the China thing, as long as the China issue is an issue, I think it's like with Apple. Apple reported that massive recent China sales spike, and everything was hunky-dory for Apple. So I think if they manage to get things back to normal in China, I think there's something here for Nike. But I've said, of the three, like there were a lot of, to be fair, there's a lot of CEO turnover at the end of 24, but there were three major ones in the back half of 24. You had Ortberg of Boeing, my man Kelly. Then you've got my friend Brian Nickel at Starbucks, and then you had Elliott Hill at Nike. And the first two, I think, have made market changes at the company. Whether or not they've been good or bad is a matter of discussion. Cough, cough, the Sharpies purchased by Brian Nickel thought was irrelevant at Starbucks. But Elliott Hill hasn't done all that much, really. Like, we just heard that the guy he hired as the chief innovation officer left after like less than a year. So I don't really know. I feel like Elliott Hill and a lot of people I know who are more familiar with Nike have said to me, well, Adara, you know, he's great. Nike loves him. People involved with the company love him. That's fine, but that doesn't make him necessarily an effective CEO for the shape that Nike is in. So I do, before I end my rant, which I will end soon, I promise, I actually want to transition to Lululemon, which, much like Nike, is now in the position where they need a new CEO. They don't have one. They've got two interims. They've had two interims since December of 25. Calvin McDonald technically left at the start of January, but you see my point. The point is, they haven't even picked a new CEO for Lulu yet. So I hope this is a situation like Intel where they wait a couple months and then they introduce someone excellent and someone who really is able to make that spark in a company. But at this point, they've actually waited longer than Intel did to announce this decision. So yikes, Lulu, don't be a repeat of Nike. I apologize for the long rant. I didn't realize how many thoughts I had in this. I don't know if this answers anyone's questions, but I'll do the Looney Tunes.
But I don't think,
Don't apologize.
I don't think that Lululemon has a fraction of the brand power that Nike has.
I don't think so either.
Right? You know what I mean? It's not even relatively close.
But I actually don't think it would be the end of the world if they take a little bit longer to find the right CEO. And I know the Intel example is the perfect one. There's nothing wrong with finding the right person. You have there's been a lot that you've been getting wrong for a long time, and finding the right person to turn around. And that's why I think Nike has some time. Because, let's be real, it's so bad at this particular point. There's a lot that needs to get fixed. They do recognize some of the missteps, especially getting away from their partnerships with stores that ended up not working out for them, and they understand that, but there's a lot to unwind. We do have, someone in the chat was asking about CRM. So just, if you're looking at any of the software names this afternoon, hopefully CRM included, well, they got a bounce, and now they're starting to lose a bit. Palantir is holding on a bit better. See, Palantir, the bounce started at about 251, so yeah, right in here, it looks like it would have followed. Palantir is holding on, but not doing anything with the gains. It consolidated, but did not break the consolidation, so there wasn't a long for me on Palantir. But you're seeing CRM continue to look relatively weak. Unfortunately, this is the same. You can't say anything you would say about Adobe or any of those software names. I think the same thing applies here to CRM. Do I think it'll never find a bottom? No, I think eventually it will, but it's just a broken chart and a broken stock in a sector that nobody seems to want to buy. And what it might take, just for argument's sake, is why is anyone going to try and buy the dip on any of these software names when they've been able to just simply participate in buying memory chip names on dips? You could buy Novo on dips. You could buy a Marvell on dips. There's plenty of things that are upward trending that allow you to buy tech. SNDK is a great example of it. So maybe until those turn around, the money's not going to want to get into some of those software names. Again, there's always something that looks like this that means you don't have to buy CRM. I always feel that way. And it doesn't mean you don't want to try to catch a bid.
I think it's tough. Like, again, Neil, you were talking about it earlier this morning. It's just like, hey, if it's continuing to move lower, just wait for trend lines to be broken or something along those lines, something that signals that there's going to be some form of strength. If not, why would anything change, right? Like, it's the narrative of the stock And I think there's also things that there's so many factors that need to be implemented. And I often go over these few examples, and we're going to start things off with Netflix. Is like there's a positive catalyst for this name to turn around. We're not necessarily seeing that right now in Mark Benioff's Salesforce, right? That's just not the case. Netflix, they jumped out of that bidding war, and there it goes to 102.75 on Netflix, right? Like this thing is continuing to climb. Maybe the debt story with Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers giving this a little bit more fuel, but the way it held this breakout at $90 and then bounced off of it and put in this engulfing print right here, I had the utmost confidence that we were going to break through this pivot and continue to move a little bit higher in Netflix, and I think that's going to be the narrative. But if we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, and Neil's trading these all day, every day, essentially, is look at this trend line break. The time frame is just different.
Yes.
Right? And you have the catalyst supporting it. Even though it happened a couple of days before, somebody obviously knew something leading into here, and then boom, off to the races you go in Netflix.
You wanted somebody knew something? Adara, what was the company that got the buyout rumor in the midday show?
Today?
Yeah.
CVLT, Commvault, Goldman Sachs is apparently going to be involved in bringing the deal together. And furthermore, Thoma Bravo is going to be, apparently they've actually already placed a bid. So that's the deal with Commvault.
It's at the point now, I don't even sure what we do without you. I don't even have to remember anything anymore. It's like, this happened today and I don't even, this is the problem. I'm not going to remember anything ever again because I can literally just say, Derek, can you just remind me of the stock? It's that simple. No, but you think somebody knew something? So this gets the buyout rumor today at 12:54. Look at this randomly out of in the afternoon, it catches a volume bid at what price? $77. Okay, let's lock that one in for a second and runs on nothing. And then the next day, it bottoms out at 10 o'clock at the same price it randomly started getting volume in, and bottoms out again, and it's bottoming out at the same level, and then all of a sudden the news hits. I mean, come on, man. Like, I just can't. That's the kind of, when people talk about like markets being manipulated, what they really mean is that there's always somebody that's able to do stuff that, and get away with it. That's the best way to put it.
Absolutely.
So the only thing I had this afternoon was just this reversion trade in DPRO. I did reload it, but with that tight stop on trend line, so it's not going to follow through all the way to VWAP, but that'll be it. I'll wait for the imbalances now, see if we get something there. But there's always something. Grunfeld, so how can we scan for that and find what's next? Well, let's just, my answer is I don't know, but what I would probably suggest, if I'm just thinking out loud, would be if you find a volume spike on something which is uncharacteristic. So you have to have something that has an uncharacteristic volume spike. So you want it to have maybe double its average true range, or like 1.5 its average true range in like less than an hour or so the day before. And do like 2-3 times its normal daily volume in that short period of time, like something along those lines. And then once you've scanned for that, then you have to cross-reference with whether it has news or not. So that you'd basically be doing this overnight. You'd have to. The first part of the scanning would be easier. Then you'd have to cross-reference with whether it has news or not. If you find that it didn't, you put it on your watch list for the next day. And then you try to observe the key price levels. Because you can't know that this is going to happen, but if you see the bid support just sort of randomly come in at the same place it was on the day the volume mysteriously appeared, then you might have something. Then you can just maybe just nibble into some longs at the key price. Once you see it hold once, maybe just nibble in again. Maybe nibble in again, and then you just happen to be in the trade when it goes up. Sometimes that's just how it is. Like you just happen to be in something and it goes for you when the news hits. But yeah, I don't know, that probably would work. And there's all kinds of ways you can code things now, or just use eSignal probably let you do it, TradingView. I imagine setting up that kind of a scan wouldn't be terribly difficult, Adara.
Yeah, just be aware here, not much of a move here in USO, but I do think this is worth noting. As I mentioned earlier, we've heard that Iranian officials, including Parliamentary Speaker Galibaf, who's going to be leading the negotiations, they have arrived in Pakistan for these talks. The talks are tomorrow. Sounds like they're arriving today. We're actually getting comments from the Iranian delegation, again, as reported by Iranian state media, that the discussions with the U.S. will begin if their preconditions are accepted. So again, we've heard some of their preconditions a while ago. Some of them involve, and again, it's unclear what the preconditions are and then what the overall long-term ceasefire conditions are, because some of those involve ownership of the Strait of Hormuz, being repaid for damages from the war. Either way here, sounds like they're in Pakistan. Now the question is, will they actually begin discussions with the U.S.? So here's a quick update. That discussion probably going to happen tomorrow. Back to you.
All right.
Thanks, Adara. Well, I guess we'll be hoping that things are A-OK over the weekend. It's that weekend risk. The good news is it's not like there's any crazy sell-off happening in the markets. 1 minute to the imbalances. Still nothing on the early look. Nothing over $1 million of any interest. The Qs are basically holding bottom end of the range, but holding the range at least. It's still pretty quiet. The SPY, it doesn't really matter, SPY's Qs. The SPY's a little bit weaker, but it's basically the same thing. You got this little bear flag. We haven't lost the low, but there is some risk off happening.
SPY is a little closer to that low than the NASDAQ.
No, yeah, the SPY's threatening breaking this bottom. For sure. You never like you don't like closing on the lows. It's never a good thing. But I feel like that's, given the state of affairs over the weekend, why wouldn't there be risk off? There's been so much work done off the lows. Like, look where we are on the SPY. Give me a break. Into the weekend, we were just sitting at 630 a week and a half ago. So to be up here, it's almost at 680. You got to figure there's going to be some ring in the register. We got Dave. Let me just get the imbalances, which is nothing burger. NVIDIA 1.4 to the sell side. ETH 1.2 to the buy side. That could be a little bit of something. Nothing too crazy. Warner Brothers there. GDX 900,000 sell. Marvell 800,000 to the buy. Not too much that's going to be crazy. Dave's Rando weekend trade. Anything space related pop Monday. I'm in San Diego and it's landing right off my beach. That would be the Artemis 2. Fantastic. So you like the pop. I was kind of thinking there might be a sell the news kind of deal. Like, and it's all over, and this could be the end for Sid, or the temporary top for Sidus that made a bit of a run. Have a great weekend as well, Dave. Thank you for the super chat. I haven't looked at Sidus. What is Sidus doing today? If you haven't been following, Sidus actually, reacting pretty well off the Artemis. Another pop higher. This is the reason why you're right back into local highs on Sidus. And then they're going to land today. It'll be successful, and everything will be rah, rah, rah. And then maybe people sell them. It's a double. It's a straight double from the launch, from 2 to 4. But then the good thing about trading is I don't have to make the bet. I can come in, and if we're failing this high, maybe get it back through 4 on Monday. And if it's breaking out, then you're right, and I don't have to make a trade. But my first thought is sell the news, and the event is over at that point. All right, so ETH was the only thing that stood out to me, 1.3 million to buy, flat out didn't move. So the imbalance is a bit of a nothing burger there. How about this? I want to get a poll up. What do you like for a poll, Joe?
I mean,
we got a few minutes here.
Yeah, we got a few minutes. We get a closing poll. Let's see. That's a good question. Let's make it chip based, because the chips were the strongest names here today in the overall market. Will NVDA by next week close above 197?
Close over 197 next week. Okay, so simple. Will NVIDIA close over $197? You're asking a lot there, brother. That's $10 from here. It's 5% next week. So we're going to start it. And 1 for yes, 2 for no. Where are the bulls at, everybody? The NASDAQ's technically still green today. That might not last the next 7 minutes, but we're bullish. Oh, come on. It started out bullish, and now it's bears central.
Oh, man.
70% say no. See, I wonder what would have happened if you'd actually... So you had to pick NVIDIA. Marvell's stronger, AMD's been stronger, SanDisk is stronger, Intel's stronger, but we went with NVDA, and maybe that was a death keel because it's fallen down going into the close.
Yeah.
Jinx. 197, huh?
I honestly think, Neil, that this is the time, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, it might be, to be honest with you, just considering from what earlier in the month, March 30th, to now you're up 15%, 14%. So over the past 5 sessions, including today, you're up substantially as well. Let me see if I can get a. You get an 8%. You get 8.5% in this trading week. It's up 8.5. So if you get an additional 8.5%, you're breaking that level.
I want it to happen.
Yeah.
It's just if I had to make a bet.
And even vote.
If I had to pick like something strong next week in the chip space, I don't know that NVIDIA is the first place you'd go to.
Okay.
Like, look at the run that Intel's on.
Yeah.
Look at the run that Marvell's on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even TSM made a fresh high today. Even, we were mentioning even AMD is stronger. Like, look at the momentum in AMD to get back into that high. There's just so much that's been, and don't get me wrong, NVIDIA is the chip that I own the most of. So I'm not talking up my own book here.
Yeah.
I'm doing the exact opposite. It just looks a little better.
Here's another good one as well too, Neil. Will Donald Trump truth out another ticker next week?
No.
So,
Want to know why? Because apparently,
yeah.
and I trust Adair on this, that he's never specifically had a ticker.
Not once.
Not once.
Not even, and even when he referred to Raytheon, which is legally not Raytheon anymore, the company's now RTX, he still called them Raytheon in his post. So he's been like very, I don't know if it's careful or just he has avoided it or what, but the fact that he specifically used a ticker this time in brackets after the name makes me think this was very intentional.
Yeah, he was talking to traders, man. I just feel like you did PLTR because you were telling traders to buy. But no, I don't think he will, because if you've never done it before, what are the chances that this is a new trend? So
it might be a new thing of his.
Maybe it is.
Now the fault.
But I will punch Lon the next time he does.
The next question is exactly. So essentially, what I'm going to ask is, do you think he knew the ticker to Palantir before today?
I don't know. No, because if you're not, I want to say because who wouldn't know it? But I suppose it's not that obvious. If you're not a trader or you're not really into the markets, I don't know how much you do know. Maybe people don't know tickers. Like if I type, because I've done this before, like I'll be in a chat with a bunch of friends and I'll type AAPL and they're like, what are you talking about? That's a ticker for Apple, everybody. How do you not know that? And they don't, in the chat, they don't know. And that's Apple. Because to them, they'll just say Apple. I'll do AAPL. So I guess I would think he knows. I would think he knows the ticker, but that's just me. I could be wrong on that. Imbalances just possibly flipped. ETHA got paired. IBIT's now 1.2. These are still nothing burgers. Snap's a sell of 1 million. That seems to always be there. Nothing too crazy. The overall market, by the way, was 1.4 million to the sell side. Adara mentioned, but a bunch of that is probably paired off by now. Crazy. That's a weird one.
I mean, a lot going on. You looked at the pairs there. We tried a little something on the TQs. Didn't really break down how we wanted to, but it's 56 as well. So, I mean, short.
That looks good on the Qs. It was an
breakdown?
overall sell imbalance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, APLD, this is APLD. Oh, the breakdown. Oh, are you looking at the Qs? Yeah, you have it there. I mean, it's been bouncing off of this 49.05 on the
Yeah, it won't break further.
Yeah, exactly.
The SPY's weaker, that's why.
So it's just like, all right, whatever. We'll get out of that one there. I mean, there it is, guys. A nice imbalance. You pulled them up here. We can pull them up one more time just so you guys can get an additional look before the end of the day. We only have about 3 minutes left. T was good. All right, KMI. Let's see what these guys are up to here today. KMI.
Kinder Morgan.
Heading a little bit lower on the sell, 1.2 million there. Neil. No, I mean, nothing really going on here on KMI. Oops. Yeah. And then same thing with T. T was on it last week a couple times. AT&T there, Neil. I'm glad that we got out of that move here in the TQQs, but there it goes, climbing a little bit higher is AT&T with a sell imbalance. So an inverse move right there, my brother.
Yes, sir, and that is what is up. Oh my goodness, Michelle Meir, you're not the only one who mentioned Avis. And let's credit where credit is due. This is the second time I have looked at this in the morning, been like, yeah, that's done. And we come back and it's making fresh highs. It almost did this yesterday. at the open, look, yeah, it's giving up the move. And then it ends up back at $300. Today, it's like, yeah, it's giving up the move. It bounced off 257. It's back through 300. It is a squeeze to end all squeeze, not to end all squeeze. There's going to be something else eventually. But what is going on with Avis? It refuses to go down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it's going up. It doesn't matter, it's going up. It doesn't matter, it's going up. At some point, this is going to come to an unwind. It's 48%. Well, one side had over 40% short float, another one had 24. Suffice to say, it's a very large short float, and it's a pure squeeze play at this point. So the dip buys just keep on coming in. I guess grip it and rip it when it finds a support level, grip and rip. But when this unwinds, it's going to be real nasty. We saw it with Abercrombie a couple of years ago. Maybe that was last year. No, it was 2 years ago, when it was just parabolic for weeks. And then when it eventually dropped, you couldn't buy the dip. You could only buy it on the way up and hold. The second you were trying to catch it, if it had like a couple of red days in a row, you were toast. But yeah, CAR looks like a lot of the same thing here. Unbelievable, that stock. I can't get over that.
Bitcoin at the high of the day here too, Neil. That's not too bad of a look. There, hit it there. Congratulations.
Little mini Bitcoins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, too bad you couldn't physically have that stuff. Do you think they'll ever get to that? I don't think so. They would defeat the whole purpose. Then
100%.
Yeah, at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, a big volume here on the imbalances coming in, beating, almost passing this pivot high there on IBIT. So the base is holding up here, right? And you're slowly starting to see strength step in.
And the closing bell brought to you by PDS Biotechnology. We appreciate you and thank you for sponsoring that artificial fake closing bell.
And that's it. That's the conclusion of the week. Market closing at 8 o'clock. No blue ocean tonight.
True. Right.
So no blue ocean. Even though you have the post market, how liquid it will be is a different story. Other than that, Bitcoin looking like it might find somewhat more of a sustained bounce. That's going to be good for a lot of long-term portfolios.
And some good trading next week, hopefully.
Good trading next week.
Hold on. We got more important things to say, Joe.
What's that?
Shout out to Joey freaking Options, like Sharif always says it. Putting in a whole day's work, filling in big shoes for Sean, still doing the midday, chilling out with Sharif, closing it off here. Barely had time to eat, although you managed to, I don't even know when you managed to find time for that.
We snuck in a salad there.
You still got to eat that chicken.
Yeah, I'm going to eat that chicken right now.
Yeah, he's going to get the chicken in.
I also got to go to the gym later as well, too, man. So that fried chicken you know what I mean? And I got the green light to start running, which is
That's
good.
the big thing right there. The recovery's going well.
Yeah.
My man's going to be running. He'll be running laps. Although you're a distance runner, right? You like going.
Yeah, I like distance.
Like 10K.
Yeah,
that's
I like
wild.
that. Yeah, I'm a distance guy.
Yeah. Oh, we got a super chat. We'll get this one before we get out of here. You sent a super chat. I don't care if we're supposed to leave. I'll throw it up. Sammy's under. Bought CoreWeave calls yesterday and made a bank on them. Avid listener the past 2 years. Appreciate what you do. And then another one from David. Oh, I was reading a different one. My bad. That was the one we were reading. There we go. Thank you so much, Dave, Sammy. And CoreWeave is an absolute beast. And thank you for watching. Pay it forward. That's what it's all about. Just enjoy the show. Contribute what you can. Try to learn something, get better, and then help answering questions and help keeping it positive in our community. And everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Want to give a big shout out, not just to obviously Joe, but the entire team here, for Sean, for Brendan, for Sharif, for Adara, for Sia, for Fabian, Ramin, Andre, everybody here at the Trade TV family. Enjoy yourself. The weather's getting nice, so find a patio if you're into that. I am. And we'll see you back on Monday at 8 o'clock.
Patio people. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the love.
Love that patio weather, man.
Yeah, same. Good shows, brother.